Hello everyone, and welcome to my official review of Fallout 4. This is the first Fallout game for the next generation consoles, and I'm playing on Xbox One. To be sure I don't reveal any spoilers, I'm going to focus on game mechanics and comment on what's different about this game compared to other open world RPGs Bethesda has put out in recent years. After playing Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Skyrim, I have to say without any doubt, Bethesda has become the undisputed heavyweight champion of open world RPGs. If you have any recommendations for me about other open world RPGs like this, I'd love to see them in the comments below. This game is really amazing. It looks awesome and has some new facets of gameplay that we haven't seen in the past. I especially like the sequence of emerging from the vault for the first time.
Enjoy your return to the surface, and thank you for choosing Vault Tech.
They did a great job creating that just born feeling as your eyes have to adjust to the bright outside light. Nice touch. The NPC faces don't seem as good as they maybe should be, but this is a very minor complaint considering how good everything else looks. The day and night cycle and weather effects are great. They even have these radiation storms at times that can make you sick if you don't get inside. The music is original and is very well done, but there isn't enough variety. I ended up turning the music off on my game because I had heard the same song too many times. An interesting side note, Linda Carter, also known as Wonder Woman from the 1970s, actually sings as one of the NPC characters. And I'm not going to get into details about where it is and how to find it, but it is in the game, and it's kind of an interesting touch they put on this.
I got eyes that are looking for love. I just need a man.
The sound effects are very well done. Enemies talking while you hide around the corner can be very entertaining at times.
Just die! That's how it's done, boys.
Without question, the replayability of this game is absolutely the best. Every decision you make starts another part of a branch in the story. You could go back and play 100 times and never have the same exact experience. This might be what I like the most about these kind of games. You pay much less on a per hour basis than what you get from a more linear story.
Yes.
And when I say open world, I don't just mean you can travel anywhere. I mean you can play any way you want to play. The game even gives you the option to respond with sarcasm in your interactions with NPCs.
She was just angling for a better deal.
And that isn't all. The character development tree lets you play any approach you like. You can be a tank that smashes everything in the way, or a sneaky sniper who relies on stealth tactics, or a charismatic leader who charms his way through the game. Whatever you want to do, you can do. It is completely up to you. Another really excellent aspect of the character development tree is that you can go into any of the categories and see what each new level of competency gets you. This makes choosing your perks much easier because you can see the exact effect of your choice right in the box before you pick. Npc Companions can be found throughout the game world and usually have side quests you can complete with them, which builds your relationship.
Don't give up hope. If there's a cure, we'll find it.
Thanks, partner.
Vault Tech Assisted Targeting, or VATS, no longer pauses the game completely like it did in the past. It slows things down significantly enough for you to make the right targeting decisions. And now you have a critical meter which allows you to choose when to cause a critical hit. This feature can come in handy when fighting a boss opponent. Something else they changed about the health system is the way radiation interacts with your general health. The health and radiation bars are combined in this linear representation at the bottom. The more radiation effects you have, which is the red part of the health bar pushing in on the right side, the less green health you can get. So if you want full health, which would be all green, you have to get rid of your radiation. I think this is a great improvement over episodes past when radiation's effects were more nebulous. I mentioned in my first impressions video last week that power armor is introduced very early, but unlike in the earlier episodes of the Fallout series, it actually needs a power source. The power source used is called a fusion core. When I found my first set of power armor, only an hour or so into the game, I wasn't sure what to think, because power armor has always been a high-level reward found later in the previous versions of the game. The game developers countered the early introduction of power armor by making fusion cores hard to find and expensive to buy. Power armor uses a modular, powered frame upon which you install the various pieces. Everything can be mixed, matched, modified, repaired, upgraded, painted, and even given special abilities if you have the right perks from your character's skill tree. Fusion cores eventually become fairly easy to find and buy, so you'll find that you can use your power armor most of the time as you progress further into the game, and you'll need to. The amount of modifications you can make to the weapons and armor in this game is dumbfounding. Everything, with very few exceptions, can be modified heavily, provided you have the skills from your skill tree, the correct workbench, and the proper components. I remember from earlier editions of Fallout picking up things like empty tin cans and coffee pots so I could sell them for some paltry amount at the next trader I came across. Especially in the beginning, you had to do this just to scrape up enough money to buy some ammunition for your weak-ass pistol, because hitting rad roaches with a tire iron or a baseball bat was dangerous work. Well, you still have to pick up tin cans and coffee pots, but for a much better reason this time. Almost everything you find is made up of more elementary components that can be used to build other more useful stuff. Take this machine gun turret as a great example. You need steel, circuitry, gears, and oil. Well, you can get your steel from tin cans, you can get circuitry from a telephone, gears from a watch, and your oil can come from cooking oil. These are just a few examples of the many items you can find that have very useful component parts. What I'm getting at here is the junk is no longer junk. You can use it to make very useful things. It's funny because your NPC sometimes will make comments about picking up junk because he knows you're going to make him carry it back to the base.
Don't make me carry that worthless crap.
I really like this idea of having a use for all the junk that they litter the game with. I find myself picking up everything, but I actually use it now. Settlements are your base of operations. You have to construct power generators, water sources, food sources, defenses, and more. You can even construct shops so you can sell your stuff and resupply whenever you need to. You have to assign NPCs to tasks, which can become pretty cumbersome because it's not always easy to see what they're already assigned to.
Sure.
It would have been nice if the developers made this task easier or even automatic. Building defenses is really important because your settlements will get raided during the game. If your defenses are not strong, you may return to the settlement only to find that all your equipment you built is smashed. You can repair things, but it takes resources and time. When a settlement is being attacked, you'll get a message off to the side letting you know that they need help. I really wish these messages were more prevalent because I have missed many opportunities to help defend a settlement because I didn't see the alert. I think there should be a distress call piped into your radio calling for help, as well as a little flashing light somewhere on the screen. That would really help a lot because these messages are very easy to miss. These side missions can be real fun because it's the only time you get to see all those defenses you built in action. I have spent a lot of time trying to surround some settlements with walls like this. I haven't been able to determine if this is effective, but it seems to make sense to do it this way. The placement of your defenses matters. You don't want to leave your water supply undefended because the invaders will smash anything they come across, causing you to have to rebuild it. I have one tip about building settlements. If you want to focus on this part of the game, get the perk called Local Leader under your Charisma category early on, and then if you need help figuring out how to set up trade routes or assign your settlers to tasks, look in the help menu that's off the main screen here. This help menu has information really about everything in the game. The whole settlement thing was something I struggled with for a while, and then I figured this out, and once I realized how to connect my settlements to each other with trade routes, building them up became much easier. I haven't decided how much I like this whole settlement aspect of the game. While the simulation part of it adds a different dimension to the gameplay, I've also found it to be a bit of a distraction. Maybe in future editions this part of the game will be more refined. You get direction on the main storyline by talking to the NPC called Mama Murphy.
Mama Murphy.
Come back for the site? I need Med X this time.
She has chem-induced sight, which allows her to see your future. If you ever wonder what you're supposed to do next, go talk to her. Minutemen quests, or settlement quests, come from talking to a character named Preston Garvey, and they almost always have to do with liberating a new settlement.
Our scouts have found a promising spot for a new settlement. Once you clear it out, set up a radio beacon to let settlers know about it.
Clearing out a place on the map for settlers.
Is there some way I can help?
We're having a lot of trouble with a group of raiders, stealing our food and supplies.
Don't worry. I'll take care of those raiders for you.
Oh, good.
Or going to help someone whose friend has been kidnapped.
Hey.
I got word of a settlement that needs our help. I'll mark the location on your map.
Other quests can be found by overhearing conversations or talking with your sidekicks.
I mean, there's no way that's a coincidence, right? MedTech has to be the place.
This is probably the ultimate in open world RPGs. The level of control it gives you to do exactly what you want to do with your experience is the best I've seen. If you like to role play and play games over and over to see all the different possibilities, this game will keep you occupied for years, or at least until the next iteration of Elder Scrolls comes out for next gen. Please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.